Hey, welcome. This is the Stunthangar video hangout Friday night. This is July the 6th, 2018, and welcome. I'm Rusty, your host for the next 2 or 3 hours, depending on how the show goes. So come on in. We'll talk about aeromodeling, and know a lot of people are maybe on the way to the Nats and other various places, but I think we ought to have enough room for a few of you to come in. So we'll hopefully have a good Friday night show. Gerald emailed me a little while ago, said he was probably not going to be here tonight, so we'll try to do without his entertainment. But the rest of you, those on YouTube, I see we've got 3 viewers now. Can use the chat box if you want to and talk to us that way. Try to keep up with what's going on over in the chat box. Sometimes I get a little bit behind, but you can post your comments, questions, answers, whatever there, and that way you don't have to have a camera or a microphone as you do to come in here live. Those of you who come in live already apparently know that the link to the live show is only in the live streams at the bench thread on the Stunthangar control line forums. And I don't know if Sparky's going to be here. I don't remember when he said he was going to hit the road to go traveling to the Nats, but might be tonight. I think I know a couple of people are going up there early. I believe it starts Monday. Straighten me out on that for sure. I don't have it marked on my calendar. But anyway, we'll talk airplanes or whatever you have fun working on with tools in your shop or at the field, at the lake, cars, trains, planes, and automobiles. Everything's good except for politics and bad health. And I usually give about 10 minutes for a geezer gripe session and then try to cut it short because everybody's got geezer gripes. Well, some of them are just gripes, but either way, try not to be a bummer and do that too much. But everybody's got it, so it breaks out once in a while. But I'll be here until midnight or 1, depends on how the conversation's going, and not seeing any action much yet. Just one viewer on YouTube right now, and that's the trouble when there's not many people here, because you can hear me slurp my coffee. So we need y'all to come in and cover up that horrid noise. But it's been a pretty good week. Recompressing this week after decompressing at the beach, I guess. Talked to you Monday, fresh home from vacation, and today I was thinking, boy, it sure would be nice to have done a 2-week stint at the beach. But today I'm thinking, damn, if we'd done a 2-week stint at the beach, then this would be sad Friday when we've got to either eat or toss everything in the fridge and pack up to go early in the morning. And so I'm glad that's not the case. But yeah, it's all good. Hope some of you are getting some summer vacations going, or at least trying to vacate as best as possible at home. And for you guys on YouTube, I see we got 5 of you now. Remember, you can help us out if you wish by clicking the $. That's the YouTube chat box super chat button, and that way you can make a donation of some walking around change so Sparky can pay his server fees and everything else it takes for the show to stay on and Stunthangar to stay on, and also for the show to be free. So if you would do that, we greatly appreciate it. We've actually had some pretty good contributors lately, so thanks. And if you don't care or cannot contribute, that's fine too. And we don't mind if you can't do it. I know it's hard to scrape it up sometimes. I'm hoping somebody will come in here live with me. else I'm going to have to talk for 3 hours. 6 viewers. My watchers are climbing, but my video friends aren't yet. So we're just hoping somebody's going to come help entertain us. Dead air. What shall we talk about? We got a meeting coming up at our club member, the Carolina Gang, Metrolina Control Line Society is the name of our club down in up to me in Huntersville, and one of our members lives in Stanley, North Carolina. James Duckworth has a museum built over his garage that's worth the trip. And I always try to go up there and hit the flying field a little bit. It's usually really hot, but we'll have Will burgers and hot dogs, and that's Will Davis usually cooks us hamburgers and hot dogs on the grill. And here comes somebody live. Oh, Ron, thank you for coming in. You saved me. I was running out of air. What's going on, man?
Not much. It's been raining again here.
I was afraid we were going to get rained out when I was about to sign on. It was thundering and lightning. And
not like that every afternoon.
Yeah. Well, so what are you just getting regular summertime storms every day? Is that what you're getting?
Clockwork.
They're not as predictable here as they used to be, but this summer seems like the most normal summer we've had lately. Those guys down in Florida, I remember from having friends down there, used to count on rain at 4 o'clock every day. You could set your watch by it in the summertime.
Pretty much.
So what you up to tonight?
As little as possible. I'm not going to stay up too late tonight because I got a club meeting in the morning.
Okay. What time's your club meeting?
They get started at 10, but I want to get out there about 8 and do some flying. RC.
Yeah, 8's a little early for me. My Congaree Flyers Club's having a meeting next weekend, and it starts at 9.
Club meeting starts at 10.
Excuse me?
Club meeting starts at 10.
Oh, yeah, ours usually do, but we're trying to beat the heat and start an hour earlier. But I can't get up and go on a Saturday that early. That's my day for sleeping late if possible. And so I'll, if I can't make the start of the meeting, I'll get there to hang around and fly or watch the rest of them fly. It's mostly an RC group out there anyway. They're kind of fascinated with watching us fly control line, though. A lot of them forget how much fun it is and don't realize the things we can do with control line planes, because all they remember is the old little plastic Cox planes and everything, and not actually what a half-A size plane is capable of, or a full-size stunter is capable of.
That's interesting because I never flew very many half-A's. My son was enamored with them.
Really?
All the time. We lived on a cul-de-sac. He'd go out in front of the house and fly them.
Was he pretty good at it? I mean,
he was pretty good at it. We eventually got into rat racing, combat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the whole.
I tell you what, a good fast half-A plane's a real showstopper. It'll put on a good show.
Yep.
That's what I love to do when we have our half-A day meeting at the club, is take my little Satan and my pair of baby flight streaks. One's Norvell 061 equipped, and the other one is TDO 51 equipped, and go out there and just sling them around, and everybody else just goes out and flies in circles, and I go out there and just rip up the air, and I love putting on a show like that. I've always loved an audience. I guess I'm just a show off, but
yeah, I haven't done that in a long time, but yeah. One of these days I'll get back out there.
I guess if I can't show off good enough to impress anybody with stunt, I can do it with half-A. I took my little. The thing
about control line is it's going to land in a circle. When I'm flying RC, God knows where I'm going to land.
Yeah, maybe on a pine tree. Be sure and put your name and number on it.
Yeah, it's the old adage, takeoffs are optional, landings are mandatory.
Yeah. Well, have you built anything lately?
Not lately. I got a bunch of stuff, but it's not new vintage. It's old vintage.
That's all right.
It's flyable. No question about that.
Yeah, probably heavier, stiffer wood than the new laser cut kits will be.
You
But
can
other than
guarantee
that,
they're going to
tough
be
old birds.
expensive.
Yeah, half A's are tough, and that's another thing I like about them. And I'm gonna take a couple of half A planes to our meeting up in North Carolina in a couple of weeks. And nice thing up there is it's a grass field. I think it's a hay field that he mows, and if you clobber the field, it doesn't hurt the plane much. So you can get up, and glue it if you have to, and fly it again. Here comes Charles Carter. Hey, Charles. Good evening.
Hey, everybody.
Good evening, Charles.
Hey, Ron. How's it going?
Doing fine.
All right.
I appreciate
Hey,
you
Rusty, how are you
dropping in on us. I was running out of air before Ron came and saved me. And now we got a couple of folks here.
All right.
Talking about my ancient lead sleds.
Oh. Yeah, I think all our ancient planes were sleds. At least mine were.
Mostly, I had no concept of building light or balanced, for that matter.
It was just building, period.
Yeah. Somehow
right?
they flew.
Yeah, somehow they flew.
Yeah.
I used to build them, and then if they didn't fly good, I thought I wasn't a very good model, and I'd build a different model. And if it flew good, I thought, well, that's a really good model. I had no idea about trimming.
Yeah. That's
Trimming,
what Bob Zambelli still does. He'll build one and take it out and fly it, and it can be a beautiful plane. And if it doesn't fly right, he'll say, that thing's a piece of shit, and take the engine off and give it to somebody. So I've got a couple of them hanging back in the shop that I need to fix up that he's given me like that.
Use your words. Hi.
Oh, hey, how you doing tonight?
You've got a good-looking girl with you, Charles.
This is my youngest daughter, Tatiana.
Sienna, how are you?
I love that
I've been
name.
watching you for about 6 months.
Yeah, he's been over on YouTube, silent, watching us from the shadows. But now that he's come out of the shadows, he's not such a creepy guy anymore. Now that we can. Kevin Muckleroy joined us on YouTube. He says, "Oh, hey y'all, I'll be back in a few." Okay, Kevin.
Oh, good.
Charles's phone's always busy.
Yeah, I see here. Well, my wife finally picked it up. Can you put that blind with me? Get listen to that glare.
Yeah.
And turn the light on there. The light switch, it might help with the glare.
Like it?
Yeah, it
Too
helps.
much glare.
No, that's fine. And then just close it tighter. The right side.
I can't really reach.
I'll do it.
I never can reach.
That looks better with it. Hang on a second.
It's not too much glare for us, and that's probably reflecting off of your screen, though.
Let's see that.
So, what's on your slate for this weekend, everybody? Charles, Ron, y'all got anything on the menu that you got to do? Anything fun to do this weekend?
You know, I usually fly during the week, so I'm hoping to make some headway. See you, baby. Make some headway on my plane. I really haven't made any progress in like I don't know, maybe almost 3 weeks. It's been distracted, so we'll see.
I think we're supposed to have some rainy weather, or at least just scattered thunderstorms and a front moving in tomorrow. So it might be a good day for me to get out in the shop and try to get that table finished so I can start my wing. I'm forever talking about, but I just hadn't felt up to it, when it's been so hot out there. So I'm hoping for a little break in the action, so maybe I can do that. The wagon from the beach, I've still got tools in the tackle box and things, all rearranged that I borrowed from one place or the other to take to the beach with me, and so I get all of that stuff out of the wagon and put back where it belongs. I got fishing rods leaning on the airplane shelves and everything else. So.
Yeah, problem I've got is that I build in my garage, and the garage side is on the west side of the house, and that's a side that gets the sun all day.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, it was 95 out there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Just
that's hot.
way too hot to go out and do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really miserable.
The door does no good because it's 94 out there.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Kevin. Good evening, Kevin. How you doing tonight?
How y'all doing today?
We're okay. Just kind of getting started here. We hadn't really hit our stride yet, but it's good to have you coming in. So, what you got going on this weekend? Any plans for anything fun or entertaining to do?
Well, I did. I was supposed to go flying with Charles on Wednesday, but my legs got all messed up. Couldn't hardly stand. Been off work.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had about let me see here. Let me see here. There was myself, Dave Sabon, Stuart, Greg, Sean, girlfriend Gwen, Keith, and another guy, Bob. So we had like 8 people there Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, half of them were flying combat. And this guy named Bob, I don't know if you know Bob, but he brought out 2 electric planes. He was flying electric. No, Bob, I have his name in my contact list. It's a long last name.
Oh.
But he brought out 2 electrics. And so we had like 3 circles.
Wow.
Electric stunt.
What?
Electric stunt.
Yeah, electric stunt. And then I had a primary combat circle. And then I had another circle that I was flying in, and Dave Sabon was flying in.
Does anybody fly electric combat? I've never even heard it mentioned.
I've heard it mentioned. I just never seen it. I've heard of it. I heard they just actually kick butt super fast.
Really? Faster than internal combustion?
I mean, you know, when you do slow combat, you're limited to, I think, 70 or 80 miles an hour. I think it's 80 for slow combat. And then fast combat, I don't know if there is a limit or not, but they're super fast.
No, I don't think there is in fast combat. I think it depends on where you fly and what the contest director has to say about it. But we fly 75. I fly combat. I don't, but they fly 75 miles an hour in the speed limit. But I think that varies from club to club. And I don't know what they do at the Nats. I'm sure it's something chiseled in stone.
Yeah. So I flew combat and I flew stunt. I mean, I didn't fly with anyone in circle, but I flew a combat plane. Is how I should say. I've never actually flown combat with another.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Me either. I've got a half A Gladiator combat plane with a 061 on it. That's a badass little plane. But I tell you what, man, you better eat your Wheaties before you go out and pull the trigger on that sucker, because it's just flying like a bullet.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I'm not sure how fast my combat plane. I'm sure it's a slow combat speed, but it's a handful for me. But I'm getting pretty accustomed to it. You know, I basically do figure eights and 4-leaf clovers and that kind of stuff. And then, after I get bored of doing that kind of routine, I just fly level for a couple of laps, then go back into some variation of that. You know, trying not to become what's the word? Indecisive, and just trying to keep being decisive, which is so hard when I don't really have a stunt pattern to do.
Yeah, with stunt, you go out with a mission and you execute it, and then you land, hopefully. And with combat, you better not have to think about anything before you do it, because it's going to be after you do it before you know it, you know, and that doesn't work well. I got one behind me, you know, I got that Gladiator behind me that day out at Huntersville trying to get out of the sun, and I turned around and the plane didn't. It stayed back there, and I had to fly behind my head like that for it seemed like forever, you know, but it was probably only 10 or 15 seconds, but I almost got it back around in front of me, but I pancaked it. It wasn't back in my field of vision yet. And
Yeah, yeah. That's a
I'm not
peculiar
good at
feeling.
knowing where the plane is by feel like those combat dudes do.
Yeah, yeah. That is a peculiar feeling when it's behind you, and you're like, oh, okay.
And they know, I mean, they know where the plane is by feel, but I have not ever practiced that art of flying. Not yet, anyway.
That's true. You can feel exactly where it's at from the tension on the lines and where it's pulling.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I enjoy it. I mean, I really, my heart really isn't stunned, but you know, it's a nice departure. And I was having a frustrating day with my Strega. I actually had I had shimmed the engine just to get a little bit more performance out of inverted flight, but by doing that, I inadvertently pinched off my muffler pressure tube, so it wouldn't run at first. And then when I got it to run, it ran. Then toward the end, it got lean and hot. And then I figured that I pinched a line, so then I took the motor out to release the line, and just one thing after another just wasn't working out very well. So I just went to good old faithful. I don't know what my plane is, but it's not the newest F2B plane from um, wherever they're made. It's an older version, but it's really good. I mean, the trailing edge is carbon fiber, and it's has an ASP 25 on it, and it kicks butt. It moves and flies really good.
I don't think you've showed us that. Have you showed us that plane?
Yeah, I think I have. I think last time you saw it though, it might have been red, and now it's blue. I had a crash. So the guy that I bought it off of, he actually is really good at repairing combat planes. So he fixed it, and I said, well, would you mind changing the color? I wanted orange, but he couldn't find orange, so he made it blue, and it's a nice change.
Orange is good. I had an orange 69 Camaro SS one time. I've never had an orange airplane, though.
Yeah, I thought, yeah, this is a translucent orange I wanted because the
Yeah.
blue was translucent, so was the red. The red was translucent also.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I've never built one that you can see through. The transparent monocoat, though,
Right.
is what I'm planning on for the Cardinal. And I got to go drive down to Bob's house and get that stuff. Sparky keeps asking me about it, but I hadn't. I just got back from the beach, and he just brought it back from Brodak. So um, maybe next week I'll call Bob up and drive down there and get my monocoat, and it's going to be uh, blue, like, well, you saw the Voodoo Sparky did that was blue, right? That
Right,
same
yeah.
yeah. I think it's that same roll. I don't know if he's got another roll, a full roll or not, but that's going to be the stuff. And so I got to build a gorgeous wing. Now that I've got the clear monocoat, I'm committed.
Yes, you are. Yeah, my combat plane, it might be that same color of blue. It might be the same. It's kind of like my blue shirt, but transparent. It's almost like this color, but transparent.
Hey,
And,
see these fires going on out here?
yes, I saw in the news. They're out there in Alpine.
Alpine's burning up pretty good. 400 acres, 5% contained.
Yeah, I know. I'm feel
Lost
so
a lot
sorry
of
for
houses.
so bad for those families that are displaced and lost their home and all their belongings. That's it's got to be the worst.
A buddy of mine just bought a house in that area.
Oh man, I hope.
Yeah,
I
he
hope.
just moved in this month.
Man, that's sad. Yeah, we got some fires going on here, Sparky.
It's just down the street from me.
Yeah, I'm a little bit away from the fire, but you know what? I remember 7, 8 years ago, it just seemed like no place was safe
Yeah.
because they were just, the wind was carrying the embers all over town. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Fires on the
Yeah,
coast.
shut down work. We were all the way up to our work, my shop.
Are y'all under a drought there right now?
We're always under a drought.
Yeah, we're always under a drought. It's, you know, it doesn't rain a lot in Southern California.
Yeah, they say it never rains in Southern California.
Yeah, so
We're
always,
rich, and the politicians have water.
what was that again?
Only the rich and the politicians have water in California.
Yes. Yeah, so it's
Well, there's other places in California that get mudslides on an annual basis, and I guess if I had to pick one or the other, I don't know. I think it would be neither.
yeah. Well, the mudslides are usually a byproduct of them having a significant fire the year or two before that.
The
The
ground is loose, isn't it?
And then when it rains, then you have the mudslide. So it's kind of a vicious circle. So when we have a lot of rain and we have a lot of ground cover, and then we end up having a lot of fuel during the fire season. So it's kind of a vicious circle.
Somebody just came in and said, it's the Jack Snavely or Jack Snavely. You'll have to tell me which one is the right way to pronounce it. Jack says,
Hey, Steve.
About Brodak 049, first post ever. Well, welcome, Jack. I'm glad you came in. So if you want to hang out and chat with us, feel free. Are you type an answer for us? Are you a member of the Stunthangar control line forums? If so, you can get into the video if you got a camera and a microphone.
Just ask Ron. That's all you need, isn't it, Ron? To get on.
What'd you say, Steve?
I said, just ask Ron. All you need is just a camera, a video camera, and a computer.
Yeah, well, for some people, that's
We're
all.
on now, aren't we?
Right button.
Finally got on.
Just to prove you guys that, yeah, I do make
It
airplanes.
does have an airplane.
Wow.
What's
Who
that?
has an airplane?
Famous Corsair.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Yeah, it looks good, Ron.
It's ready to go.
Fantastic.
When you gonna fly?
For a long time. All I gotta do is find a place. Box 35 with a tongue muffler.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
But you have it? You have it in the put up in mothballs, or?
I keep them hanging in my garage.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I've got others out there. I've got,
You're Tampa St. Pete, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Now all I gotta do is get some gumption up and take this thing out and fly it.
Yeah, you did.
Wow, yeah, that's got a nice pop to it.
Yeah, for an old Fox it does.
Yeah.
So is that a tricycle gear or a tail dragger?
3-wheel, nose
Oh,
wheel.
that's nice.
Hey, Ron, you know, before you crank that old Fox up on the Fox engines that have been sitting for a long time, the wrist pin and the piston gets kind of fused to the connecting rod, and it'll wallow out the holes in the sides of the piston if you don't get that loose. Are you familiar with that problem?
I always go in there with some alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
rinse them out real good, and some oil, just oil the heck out of them.
Yeah, I took a heat gun. I had to get a heat gun to get mine loose, but finally got it where I could take a Allen key and pull that wrist pin back in, or pull the rod back and forth on it, and it ran fine. But if you don't do that, it sure will wallow out the holes in that piston.
Yeah, I like to clean engines anyway. I got an ultrasonic cleaner,
Yeah,
That's a ticket.
boxes of old engines.
I wouldn't take all the varnish out of it until I found out how it, you know, the compression was, because you can kill one like that.
Compression.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Usually when I store mine, I put my Fox, all that. It's got trying to think of the air tool oil.
A Marvel oil or mystery oil?
Yeah, it's got not Marvel Mystery, but Marvel Air Tool Oil.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Put a little bit of that in there and like choke it so it sucks. Spin it all the way through. Throw your glow driver on it, hit it, it'll run, and it's done. Marvel air tool oil will burn in a model airplane.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I wonder if that's I use just about any brand of air tool oil, and what I've got is not Marvel, but I've never tried firing it off after putting some in it. So I might try that just for the hell of it and see what happens.
Yeah, it'll take a run.
Yeah.
So you get all the extra out of it, so there's not any extra in it.
And sewing machine oil.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think sewing machine oil and air tool oil are probably exactly the same thing. They don't have solids in them that'll congeal over time.
Yeah, I've tried other air tool oil, but it won't fire off.
Oh, really?
Some of it will.
Well, if my lifetime supply of air tool oil runs out, then I'll try some Marvel brand.
I had a hell of a time finding it.
Really?
Yeah, it was at what an auto parts place, and I can't and I can't think the one there by the house. And I happened to be walking in, not looking for it. I'm like, wow, there it is. Just a little.
Yeah, a little 1 ounce bottle or something would be good. Yeah. Even 6 ounce, but yeah, I've never seen it either. I just bought whatever they had on the air tool shelf at Lowe's.
You know what I've always thought would be interesting to try would be that PAG oil, the oil for car air conditioners. You know, when you put air compressor in your car, you have to put that oil in. Because that oil keeps the AC system clean and to keep the compressor from breaking down.
That's PAG.
The old stuff is mineral oil.
It's PAG oil, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, but the new oil is POE, and it will suck so much moisture it will rust stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
It's something scopic, whatever they call it, and it
hydroscopic.
Yeah, it sucks moisture out of the air just like alcohol.
That's what WD-40 does too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know WD-40. If you make a mistake of using it as a lubricant, it'll eat your machine alive, whatever it is. When I was in the copy machine business, some people were using that stuff to oil stuff inside the copy machines and the scanner reels, which they're chrome plated steel, and they have to be perfect with brass bushings on them, and they would grind themselves to bits after somebody been using WD-40 on them, because it dries out and leaves the solids, and the solids just are corrosive as hell.
So I guess PAG oil might not be a good idea then, huh?
Well, it depends. Like I said, there's mineral oil and there was ester oil, and they were the two old ones. Now, when you buy a compressor, everything comes with POE oil in it, and we buy it by the gallon. If they need 6 ounces, we'll put in 6 ounces, and the gallon is thrown away. Once it's opened, it's no good.
Like that 3.
What is PAG? Is that polyalkylene glycol or something like that?
I don't know what tag. I never heard of tag oil.
No, PAG. PAG.
PAG.
Paul Angus George. PAG. PAG. Yeah, I don't know what it stands
that's what I was told to put in my coolant system when I replaced the compressor on my Pontiac. Tried to replace.
Well, that might be a glycol base, so that would be like our fuel and stuff, or the oil in our fuel.
I was calling it polyalkylene glycol. I was asking if I was surprised you don't know, because I thought that was but they might not use it in the big stuff you work on, though. They might, POE. I don't know.
Polyalkylene glycol.
Yeah, I don't even know what we call it pole oil.
Hey, Dennis, what's going on, man?
Good evening, everyone.
How are you tonight?
Doing good.
Good. We got a new member on YouTube here. Jack Snavely said, yeah, he's a member of Stunthangar. Says, love your shows. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Jack. And let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm usually pretty good at figuring out how to phonetically figure names out but I never know for sure. So what you working on, Dennis?
Trying to stay cool.
Where are you at, Dennis?
California, Central Valley,
Oh, okay.
100 degrees.
Yeah, it was 117 here where I live, Dennis.
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm glad I'm up here.
Holy cow.
Yeah, 117. That's what my car said it was. That was at the height of the temperature I seen. But it's been hovering around 110 most of the day.
June
But,
was hot for us. We had about 3 weeks of straight plus 100-degree days, but now it's cooled down and it's only been in the mid 90s.
It cooled down to the mid 90s. I like that.
And it'll get humid in August, and it might not be 100 degrees, but it'll be miserable hot because your sweat doesn't evaporate off of you even when the wind blows in August.
It was
110.
That's when the gnats start sticking to your
degrees this morning
eyelashes.
when I went to work. I had to shut the blower off on my van. I'm like, damn, that's a little chilly.
wow. You know, the difference here is that it's a dry heat. So even though it's 117, you know, I wasn't sweating a whole bunch. I mean, I wore a shirt that's kind of like those breathable clothes, you know?
Yeah. You actually might have been sweating more than you realize, but it's just instantly evaporating because if it's 117, you have got to keep your core body temperature down, and it's going to automatically throw off sweat. And so just because your skin's dry doesn't mean you're not sweating.
Yeah. But, you know, I'm also not adverse to it. I feel very fortunate. I mean, the only reason why I didn't go out and fly wasn't so much the temperature. I mean, it was a little bit, but when you fly in that kind of temperatures, you know, the engine performance goes down and the lift goes down.
Yeah.
All these things going against you, and it's like, why go out there and you have less performance, less lift, you know? So it wasn't the heat; it's just the
I
fact
remember back in the 80s, we had a hot spell where they were grounding planes out in the desert Southwest. You know, New Mexico, Arizona, I guess is what it seems like I remember. And they just didn't, some of the, you know, the big heavies didn't have enough lift to get off the runway safely.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, you just.
Well, Charles, you're missing the point. And that is, you know, if you're at a contest and it's 110 degrees, what are you going to do? Not fly?
Oh, I'll fly. Especially if you're there. I'll fly. I'll fly. You know, if I got to, you know, if I'm down there in the doldrums down in the basement, you know, I'll definitely fly to try to come up. You know. Yeah. I just didn't see any incentive today, so another day.
Yeah, we were gonna go out tonight, but Samantha's cousin fell ill, and he's in the hospital in intensive care.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yes, I guess he was having a hard time breathing, and he didn't know what was going on. He ended up calling 911. He called his dad, and he waited for his dad for a half an hour. He didn't show up. He called 911, and next thing you know, he's in a coma, and he's got kidney failure. And
oh my God!
Goodness.
Any idea yet what's wrong?
They think something with his heart, but they're not sure. But his blood pressure is all messed up, and his heart rate, and so she just got back from the hospital.
Not being able to breathe's got to be horrifying.
And she was, you know, we're going to run down to the Nats and drop her trophy off, all that kind of stuff tomorrow. And it was his birthday. So she's like, man, she goes, I felt bad because I didn't get to go to his birthday party. Now he won't be going to his birthday party. They said if he makes it, he'll be in the hospital for a long time.
Oh, that sucks.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he's in the heart center. So
how old is he?
30-something, 35.
Too young for that kind of carrying on.
Yeah.
Well, I guess any age is too young for that kind of carrying on.
Yeah.
So anyone hear from Tom?
I have not heard a word from him. I should have texted him. I have not.
I don't know if he's gonna, if he'll be at the Nats tomorrow or not down in Muncie, or we're gonna go for the day. But
I hope his dad's okay.
yeah, I know it.
When you leaving for Paris?
Monday.
All right. So how you feeling? How you feeling, Steve?
Not too bad. The heat's been, it's cool here today, and that helped. But I just been getting, everybody's just not feeling well at work. The roof the other day was 120 degrees.
Wow.
So humid. And I mean, I was up there for like 6 hours, and I was just sick when I got off that roof.
Those dispatchers don't give a crap how hot it is when you, go out there and need to take a break or something like that. I know they keep track of everything, every minute you spend these days.
Well, yeah, the company don't like to be hit for $104 an hour for me to take a break.
Yeah.
And
when I was in the service business, they didn't have any way to keep that kind of track of us. But once it became available, they did start following those techs in the field.
But it's just a deal where I'll just come off the roof. If they don't like it, fire me. I tell them that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, your livelihood, your health is more important, Yeah.
I'll go get the job where I got to call a HVAC guy.
Yeah.
I had a boss who used to have a favorite saying, I was looking for a job when I found this one.
I like that.
Well, being semi-retired helps a lot. So I won't go fully broke. I'll just be broker, but not,
Yeah, my friend who just retired in July, I guess it was last July now, from the industrial HVAC business, he pretty much worked up until he couldn't. I mean, I don't think if he had to go back today and do it, he'd be able to. He's not as acclimated as he once was. He's still a hardworking guy around the house doing projects and that sort of thing. And he can't say no. He always, does stuff for everybody and family and friends. But yeah, it's just a shame you have to work until you just can't anymore.
They were asking me today when I was done, and I told them 2 years from March when I turned 62 and I started drawing Social Security, I'm done. Doing this anyway. I may do something else, whatever it is, but I wish I was done doing the HVAC stuff now. I can't do it in the winter. All my joints hurt so bad from the cold, and then you get on these roofs and they don't call you until their maintenance guys look at it and mess around and stuff like this, and they call you at 2:30 in the afternoon. They want it fixed today.
Yeah.
They won't push it off until the next morning. You can get there 6, 7 o'clock in the morning when it's cool, when the sun comes up, and the roof ain't 120 degrees. It's bad enough being out there when it's 90 something, but you take that black roof and have the sun beat on it with no clouds or anything, it actually starts making my boots, the bottom of my boots, slimy.
It's hot when your boots melt.
Wow.
What did you step in?
Yeah.
Our buddy Jack on YouTube says he's a longtime sport flyer with more than 25 planes over the past 29 years. Most scratch-built fuselages, and Stork is 049 flap stunter. Oh, that's what he was saying in his first post. Is Stork 049 half A was what he was referring to in his first post.
Oh, okay.
So he's a long-time sport flyer and a member of Stunthangar. So welcome. Thanks again for coming in, Jack.
So Rusty, did Sparky get on tonight?
Hadn't been on tonight.
He's probably on his way to.
Yeah, I wondered if he was, because lately he's been jumping on right as I was doing my introduction to the show, and then when he didn't jump in tonight, I almost didn't know how to fill the dead air. I was stumbling around trying to find something to say when Ron bailed me out and popped in.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I took a motor off a plane and took it over to Pat, so he's taking it to the Nats.
Oh.
His LA-46 is just not running well in the heat, and then it cools down, and they're trying to find the needle. And I got one of them John Tate motors that he calls a tater bug motor.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Oh, you got one of them? That's the best running motor. That's what Samantha won intermediate with there at the Nats. So I
Is that
took
an OS40?
it's a 46.
Oh, that's okay.
This one that I got.
I wonder if that's the same thing he did to mine. He said he didn't say what he did to it. He just said, "Don't open it up. Don't look into it."
Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, he said that, but I did. So.
Yeah, I heard.
It's got a hole in the cylinder and in the piston where to that back transfer port or the boost, whatever on the side. Back when that gets hot, he's got it where it just opens a smidge earlier, throws a little more fuel in there and keeps the back half of that engine cool.
Yeah.
You can run a massive prop on it. It won't run away and get hot.
I've always heard that's where to aim your air if you got to add more airflow to the cowling to make it flow over that boost port.
Yeah.
Bypass port, whatever it's called.
Right. So I dropped that off to him and said, 4 bolts, put it on there. The propeller's on everything. I got to do 4 bolts and hook the fuel to it, and that thing has always just ran so good. I mean,
yeah,
maybe it's perfect. 1/6 of an inch on the needle is all you ever need from the coldest day to the hottest day.
Yeah, mine runs a perfect 4.2 brake. Took me a while to figure out it doesn't like pressure from the muffler.
Oh, okay.
Because I usually run pressure, but then after I took that off and it ran so fine, I learned on the show here that maybe what my problem is that I was having to put so much fuel in the tank, I wasn't leaving any headroom for air, and so it didn't have any room for compression, since air compresses but fuel does not. So once the fuel level dropped, it went lean because it was able to, it wasn't able to compress the fuel anymore.
Yeah, I forget they're on Stunthangar. It shows you how to do a tank for pressure from Steve Moon. And it's where you bring in and you put the pressure for the air coming in the tank. They talk about why that works with pressurizing the tank and keeping the run the same.
Yeah.
Because you lose pressure from the fuel itself and you gain pressure with the amount of air in the tank per square inch or whatever, however that. But yeah, they do it to where after takeoff, so many laps that's supposed to clear, and then you got air in the tank, and then it's supposed to equal itself out. However it works, I don't know. I did one tank that way, but with this one here, I would use a metal tank, and I never hooked pressure to it. It just ran.
Because I have a 46 on mine, my Circulus 46, little profile that I run, and it's a stock engine basically. The only thing I've done differently was I replaced the backplate with an aluminum backplate. I still use the remote needle valve, and then I run a Uniflow tank on muffler pressure, and I get great runs out of that thing. I mean, I'm very, very impressed the way it runs, and I'm glad because I don't want to do any engine work.
Yeah. My LA-46 ran on pressure also, really good.
Yeah, this one they were running a 12.5 on it. I mean, that's a huge prop. I mean, that'll really heat up an engine. And we knocked it back down to an 11.5 or 11.4.5 or whatever that Thunder Tiger props were.
Yeah, it's got a fractional number in there somewhere. But
yeah,
I run a 12.4 on my 46, but it's not modified in any way.
Oh, okay.
I ran a door 12.5 on mine.
Yeah, so I'm running that. The APC was at 12 1/4 by 3 3/4,
Yeah, I've done that before too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we ran on that. It always flew good, and you know, that's what he said. Here's what we run on it, and I bought the airplane for $100 with the engine on it, and it was a Vector. Samantha, like I said, won intermediate with it and stuff. It flew really good, and it was an ARC that he covered himself, but yeah, that was. I'll probably fly the plane one day.
Yeah. So the trophy, you got to take it back tomorrow, you said? Steve, you got to take back the trophy to the Nats?
Do I got to do what?
Take
Yeah.
the trophy back?
Yeah, I got to take the trophy back.
You can't see it?
Yeah.
That's the trouble with those perpetual trophies. You got to make the trip.
Yeah, or maybe you could ship it, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess that is an option too.
I just ship it very carefully.
We've lost a couple of them. I think I remember our president, Will Davis, talking about it at Huntersville. It seems like he said we'd lost a trophy or two over the years, one of those perpetual trophies. Or maybe he was just talking about the possibility of it happening.
Hey, Dennis, I remember that shirt. The first time I met you, you was wearing that shirt.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I liked it. I thought you was decked out. You had a matching hat on, and I mean, you was dressed to the nines, and you looked sharp. But that was part of your ensemble, that shirt, and then your hat, and I don't remember anything else, but I remember that shirt.
Basically, it was an old golf outfit I used to wear.
There's the trophy.
Oh, hang on. Let me bring up your picture bigger. Oh, wow. Look at that.
And
that's a Nobler on top?
Nice.
And what's crazy is that's a real Nobler. It's made of metal.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh, that looks great.
That was the trophy itself was a trophy that who's the guy that made the Nobler?
George Eldridge.
George Eldridge won. The bottom part here, and then he redid it and stuck the Nobler on the top. And then donated it for the seniors.
Wow. So that's the senior trophy, huh?
Yeah.
What's the age range of a senior?
18 now, but it may change again.
Because I'm 60. Can I be a senior? I mean, I'm almost a senior citizen.
Yeah, it would be nice. Yeah, there's people's names on here I don't even. Jeff Anderson, Ken Zoki or something like that. Jim McClellan, I know that name.
Jeff Anderson, I believe, is from California.
Okay, and there's a Nate Griffin. You know, I know Todd Lee, Bobby Hunt. He won it 4 years. And you got Derek Berry. He's got a couple of them. Donnie Graverson. Calvin Stewart, he won for 3 years. Robert Gruber.
Yeah.
Paul Farrell. Oko Minato. So Kaz.
Would that be Kaz?
Huh?
Would that be Kaz?
Kaz's son. Oko.
Oh, really? Cool.
Patrick Gibson. Then Ryan Young. And he won it. And then Sam Nabor. And then Mike Parris, and then Samantha's won it twice now.
Sounds heavy when you lean over to put it down.
Yeah, that damn thing weighs a lot.
How many years does it go back? To what year does it go back to?
81.
81.
So that's when George, I don't know what trophy they had before that. But yeah, so I don't know what the AMA is going to do. The word is that they're moving the senior to 21 in FAI, like it used to be. When Dennis had a mission won the Walker Cup, he was 21 years old. And then they dropped it to 18. And it sounds like, from what Ryland Rich said, is that they're not getting enough kids.
That makes sense, yeah.
Come through. So they want to up the age back to 21 to try to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's 10 though juniors to flying at the World Championships.
Very good.
That are registered anyway, so yeah, this will be the biggest contest Samantha had to fly against anybody since beginner Nats. And I think they had 11.
So Samantha's going to fly in the world championship as a senior or junior?
Junior. They call everything's junior there. Is
okay.
Up to the age of 18.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
So are you ready?
But I take the tag off, and I had a blank, so I needed to take that in and have her name wrote on there for 2016. So I lost them. I don't know what they're not lost because they're somewhere in this house. Misplaced, I guess, is the best way to do it. Just misplaced.
You don't lose that kind of thing.
So I take one of the other Mike Paris's tag off, take down there for the font and all that kind of stuff and size. I have 2 more made. I had to work late, and I forgot about them damn tags. And I was on my way home, and the guy called me. So I turned around and ran all the way back there because he said it closes at 5. So I get there 2 minutes before. I pay him and stuff like that. He hands me the tags. I walk outside. He locks up. I get in the van. I look at it. Spelled our last name wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, well, son of a bitch.
Spell it H-E-I-N-S.
H-Y-N-E-S.
Oh, brother.
We have a road here, Hines Avenue, and it's spelled H-Y-N-E-S.
Oh, man.
Any engraver worth his weight in metal shavings ought to be able to get the spelling right, because I used to work with, when I was in the office machines business, printers, you know, could not misspell things like that. It's just completely wrong for somebody in the business of doing that to misspell something.
He wrote it down. I watched him. Right?
Wow.
You know, the only thing I can think of is stuck in his mind, that road. And I think it's probably considered the shortest road in Grand Rapids, maybe in the world. It's like a half a mile long. And you can get on it from the expressway, and then it gets off on an exit. And at CFX is where you go into where all the damn cars and stuff like that are at. So it's just this little teeny ass road off of 131. Why they did it that way, I don't know, but semis and stuff can pull in there and unload into box cars or whatever they do.
Oh, that's so messed up.
Yeah, so they spelled it wrong. So I'll put it on there, and then I'm going to have to get new ones made and send them and have them changed out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing you can do now.
Yeah, so.
You don't
other than that,
go down in perpetuity with the wrong tag on it.
Well, I thought about getting, I'm going to scratch a eye in it and color it black. I don't know.
Let him cut you some new ones. He screwed up.
Oh, yeah, he'll do new ones, but he was gone. Otherwise, I'd have waited, made him do them right then. But he'd already locked up and was gone till Monday.
Oh man.
Other than that, Steve, are you ready for France?
Pretty much. I gotta finish the case, but well, that'll be Sunday. I'm gonna have all day for Sunday to work on getting the airplane in the case and cutting all the foam and stuff like that. So I was gonna do it, but I don't. The airplane is trimmed so good and everything right now that I didn't want to take it apart, put it back together, and go tomorrow there to the Nats because she's going to fly with Fitzgerald and Buck and all them. So I want it exactly like it is. Let them tell us if we got the trim right, what they're seeing, what they're feeling. You know, so I'll do it Sunday. But I got foam and I got it close, but just going to be cutting it all in and Velcroing it in and stuff.
Have you checked the weather for?
Feeling good for a while there. Is she doing okay?
What's that?
Samantha was not feeling good for a while there. Is she doing?
Yeah,
okay?
she's doing better. She's done with her antibiotics. She's done with that stuff that turns her pee red, and she can wear contact lenses again and stuff like that. So, yeah, she's all good there.
Good.
I didn't know she'd been ill. I'm glad she's better now.
About every 3 months, she gets a kidney or bladder infection. So when we get back, she's going to see a different doctor. And yeah, we took her into emergency and stuff. So
maybe some kind of preventive medicines in order that her doctor's not doing. So I hope that works out. Steve, have you checked the weather report for France?
Yeah, next week is supposed to be high 70s to low 80s.
Oh, that's nice.
And then it's up around 90 next Friday, I think. It only goes a week out. So I don't know what the damn hot weather here will probably follow us over. It's straight across. You know, we'll get there a week after you get there. But yeah,
I have the kit, the Thunder Gazer, and Dave Fitzgerald actually built that in anticipation of going to the France World Championship, and he built that because of the wind in France. I think it's the Geo Wing. I think it has in it, and that really goes through the wind really well. So do you know what the wind's going to be like in France?
That's why Samantha's airplane is the Junar. Because that's even a little bit thinner and stuff. It's for the wind, and they're thinking it's going to be better, and it seems to be. She can fly it and wind pretty damn good. How that one's set up from the Geo boat or the Thunder, because it was the Thunderbolt wing, the Geo XL or something, and that became the Geo bolt. So that's what David flies, in his for that. And him and Chris got together, I don't know, Bob Hunt, all these people, and said, okay, we're gonna do this wing because of the real choppy air coming off of trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing is good about it is that's what we fly in all the time.
Oh, good. What kind of winds you guys flying all the time?
Real choppy. We got trees in different places on the field. So we got flags all the way around the field, and the trees affect it so bad is that we have 2 flags going in one direction and 1 flag going in the opposite direction. at a 90 to it.
Yeah, wow. I'm familiar with that kind
and then we got a real tall one that tells us once we get above the trees what the hell the wind is going to do.
Hey, Minnesota Mike, just joined us on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Minnesota Mike's in California too, so we got a dominant California crowd here tonight.
Yeah.
Watch out, we're taking over the world.
Yep.
Really? But guys, I'm going to go because we want to leave at 6 in the morning.
All right, man.
I'm going to be real tired when I get up and drive.
Yeah, and you don't want to be rushed when you get there before she has to fly too.
Right.
Yeah.
Best
All
of
right.
luck to you guys in Paris when you get there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, keep us posted.
Yeah. Monday night about this time, I hope I can sleep on that damn airplane.
Yeah, I hope so too.
You know, we'll see what kind of mood I am when I'm landing. Them guys, they're giving me crap at work because they said, "How long is that flight?" And I'm like, 8 hours.
Oh,
And they said, "And you got to be there 2 hours early and all this kind of stuff." And I said, "That's a long time without a cigarette." And I'm like, "Kiss my butt."
You can't smoke in the restroom, man.
if I don't have or can't smoke, I don't miss it. I go out to the shop and forget to smoke, you know, so that's a good thing. I smoke more sitting here in front of y'all than anywhere else.
That's one thing about me. I never forget to smoke and I never forget to eat. You know, but I had an ex-wife that always forgot to eat. I'm like, how in the hell can you forget to eat? She was skinny as can be, and I was like, man, I wish I could put that out of my mind.
Some people are just built that way. You can't help it.
Not me.
I used to have a legendary appetite, but dialysis patients aren't known for their great appetites. So mine's kind of tapered off.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, I haven't missed too many meals, so if you see me, you'll know.
Yeah, I know. I had never seen you in real life, unfortunately, but I could tell from the pictures.
Well, let's put it this way. The way I compared Charles when I first saw him, you know those little fire hydrants?
Yeah.
They look alike.
Giant fire plug.
Short and stocky. Yeah.
Keep the dogs away.
That's right.
Well, it's like
Probably make a good interior lineman on a football team. You ever play football, Charles?
No, but I get asked that quite a bit. I get asked in San Diego. I was mistaken for one of our running backs for the Chargers all the time.
Oh, really? Wow.
All the time, yeah. I'm probably as big as most of their running backs.
What was his name?
I'm trying to remember his name. Was it Lionel Train James, or there was another one I used to get mistaken for. Is I'm like 5'5", and I'm two. Right now I'm about 226. I'm 5'5".
Yeah,
There you go.
I had when my knee all swelled up and stuff, and they were taking fluid out and had it wrapped. And my uncle calls and he's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, pretty good." He goes, "You getting around?" I'm like, "No." I said, "I can't do nothing," you know. And I said, "Well, no, that isn't true. I can still make it to the refrigerator."
Hey, Mike said, Minnesota Mike.
No.
Charles is the shortest control line flyer in the, I think he meant world.
Yeah, you're the shortest control line flyer in the world.
You know, I'm about the same height as Chris Cox, so I don't know if I'm the shortest. Is Chris
Samantha's only 5'2".
Okay, well I think she's shorter than both Chris and I. But I'm not sure who's shorter, if Chris Cox is shorter than I or not, but I definitely bigger than Chris Cox.
It's tough when the 5 foot level's above your head.
Well, that's what, you know, I always tell Samantha is that, and I think that's why she's so good on her level laps, is that fly eye level. Because it's between 6 and 4 feet. Her eyeballs are just about at 5 foot.
Yeah.
Like 4'11" where eyeballs are at. So she can just fly right in front of her eyes. And with me, I just tell her to cut my head off. I'm on the other side, just, you know.
There you go. Now Mike's showing me some love. He says I'm a great flyer. Thank you, Mike. Minnesota Mike, thanks, man.
All right, guys.
All right, Steve. Yeah, get you some rest. You got to stay.
Next Friday, well, I'll try to get on. I got to think, what? It's going to be like
5 hours?
Yeah, it'll be like maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if I'll be up or not. Their time, because there's a 5 or 6 hour difference. I don't know where it breaks there.
Paris might be 6.
Paris is 5, but we're by Belgium, so I don't know when the time, if they their whole country stays under one time, or they break it like ours do. But we'll find out when we get there.
Well, if you're not here, we'll be talking about you.
All right.
All right, man,
Take
take it easy. Good
Yep.
luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Well, they got a lot of good support behind them so far from flyers here in the U.S., so I'm pulling for them. Hope
Yeah.
you do as well.
Yeah, to have those guys tomorrow fly the plane and make sure it's right, man, you can't beat that.
Anyway, Steve got talking about eat, and that's what I got to do, so I got to leave.
Okay.
We'll see you all later.
All right,
All
take
right,
it easy,
Dennis,
man.
good to see you, man.
Take care.
See
All
ya.
right, bye-bye.
Now we got a slim crowd all of a sudden now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, about another 10. I'm going to pull a plug too because I got a meeting in the morning.
All right.
All right.
Well, it's nice seeing you again, Ron.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good seeing you guys.
Well, thanks. Hey, why is it so dark, Kevin?
Outside, the sun's going down, and I ain't got no lights on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're messy.
I don't want any more, man. Thanks. I get one right there. One more.
You're messy.
Yeah. Thank you for.
He probably wants another one when he finishes that one.
That better.
Oh, that
Yeah,
worked.
there we go.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, my kids are making these s'mores, so they're bringing me these s'mores. So
Oh, yum.
Those are good. That's a little
I
too
bet
sweet
you're
for
not
me.
getting them all.
I just like the marshmallow part.
yeah, I would
Thank
fine
God.
with marshmallows. You're right.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to like to take marshmallows and put them on a saltine cracker with peanut butter on it and plug a marshmallow on top of that and put them under the broiler in the oven until they were brown and then eat them. That was good.
Saltine cracker.
Yeah, I used to like that marshmallow spread and peanut butter and toast. Toasted bread, and then put the
yeah.
marshmallow spread and the peanut butter, and that was
Get that spread too, but I forget what I used to put that on. But I just like real marshmallows toasted, either on the fire or in the oven. Anyway, any kind of toasted brown top marshmallow is good.
yeah.
Minnesota Mike says it's 106 degrees where he is in California.
Yeah.
I think he's basically in the desert. I forget exactly, but
Yeah, I forgot where he's from too.
it's south, but I think it's farther inland than you are, farther from the ocean.
It's been raining all evening. I'm down to 72.
Wow, that's a pretty good drop.
Yeah, it was 90 today.
What's it been getting to in the daytime down there?
90 to 95.
Yeah, that's not bad. Clovis.
The average is about 91, 92. You know,
Yeah,
the whole month of July.
Mike's in Clovis. That's where he is.
Yeah, south of Sacramento, he said.
Yeah, he's told me that about a dozen and a half times, but I never can remember.
From Modesto.
You know, I don't know Northern California or Middle California that well. I just know that I've driven past all those places on my way to Golden State.
Where is Golden State? That's in the LA area, right?
No, it's actually in Madera, California,
Oh.
which is above. I think it's above Clovis. Minnesota Mike might correct me, but it's. I know it's near the Golden State Stunt Championship, and it's about a 7-hour drive for me to get to the Golden State Stunt Championship.
What club hosts the Golden State? Is that the name of the club?
No, the club is. I don't have it handy, but yeah, their name is not Golden State.
We got dead air. I guess it's my job to fill the.
Well, I was trying to find the. I have a folder for that contest, and it's out of reach. I might have moved and had to put it back in the right
Wow.
place.
It was north of Fresno, huh?
Yeah, north of Fresno. Oh, they fly at People's Church, but what's the name of the club, Mike? Minnesota Mike, I mean.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. I was just curious.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I know when he says it, I go, oh yeah, I remember now.
Well, if I didn't have all of my tabs occupied, I'd Google it. So I'll do it later.
Thanks for deleting those chats, Rusty.
I finally went to his website and completely blocked him from us. So I don't know if that blocks him.
Mike, I'm on someone else.
I don't know if that completely blocks him from Stunthangar's channel or not, but it'll do for tonight. I opened my control panel after he came in, and I am at the ready in case we get any unwanted video visitors, but I don't think that's likely. I hope not anyway.
Yeah, same here.
PC Flyers.
Oh,
PC Flyers. Okay.
Oh, Minnesota Mike said it. I didn't even, I didn't even realize what he was talking about.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. I didn't realize that was the club's name either. Yeah, they put on such a nice contest. I know that you've been to some nice contests already, Rusty, but I don't think you can match the plethora of former national champs that we have come through the Golden State.
Yeah, I know. The West Coast is a hotbed of control line experts. It seems like.
Yeah, it is amazing. You can, I mean, the amount of national champions that show up there.
And it's even on top of that, engine experts, building experts, and you know, just every discipline of the hobby.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we had the world team there. We had Orestes Fernandez, Dave Fitzgerald. I think it was Paul Walker. Was the team, I think, a couple of years ago, and they were all three there.
That's right. That was not last, but the time before last.
Yeah, or maybe
that was the first time they gave us live streaming scores.
Okay.
I'm hoping France will one up the Australians. That was Australia, yeah. I'm hoping France will one up the Australians and do even more to bring it to us. That was exciting to be able to sit there and watch it in real time.
Yeah, I was watching the Nats last year, and I thought that was really neat, the live scores. I was really pushing for my friend Joe Gilbert. And it was neat to see, you know, how Ray was doing. And modern technology is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's I'm sure it's itchy and glitchy right now compared to how it's going to be in just a couple more years too. It advances pretty quickly. Hey,
Yeah.
It's just freaking magic to me that these boxes we sit in front of or hold in our hands even work.
Yeah. It'd be neat if we could get to the point where they actually could do a replay and have the judges, you know, scrutinize a pattern, you know.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's all.
That would be incredible. Especially when they're trying to figure out which really is the better pilot, you know, if it's close.
Watching it on a two-dimensional video screen might ruin everything about control and aerobatics.
Yeah, maybe.
You could stand in the middle of a hologram, you know, and or walk out to where the pilot is in the hologram and stand next to him and watch the plane. You know. That would be the only way to get the perfect perspective.
Yeah,
go out and be right there behind the pilot, looking up at exactly what he sees.
Yeah.
And as I draw an outside square.
You know, I was watching an old Wendy's tape, advanced flight trim video, and he was talking about, you know, in his opinion, and I'm just parroting what he said, that he believes that you don't fly the rule book to win. You wow the judges to win. And he went through some examples of like
True.
when you do the reverse wing over, when you do that first pull up right in front of the judges, you can kind of make a soft radius there and go straight up, and then on the other side, the important thing is just when you pull out, you stay flat.
Bang. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a total hard corner, it just has to be just flat. And then of course when you go back around, again, right in front of the judges, it can be a soft radius and go straight up. Now of course Wendy, I think his highest he's gotten is second place than that, but he's had probably more top 5 places than probably anybody else.
Yeah.
But and then he talked about the squares, how it's that last corner, that last flat, that really the judges make a determination on what their score is. This is his opinion again, and he that's just how he sees it. But it was just kind of interesting. He also suggested that when your plane is running lean, let's say you're going to do a square maneuver, he said him and then Bob Barron would do this. They would step into that first corner to kind of slow the plane down. Just some small little things that might make a difference in your performance. It's called the Advanced Flight Trim video. It's on the CO Guy's channel. It's pretty informative. And he has about 3 or 4 trim videos, but it's the Advanced Flight Trim video that I was watching.
I'll try to remember that. It's been a while since I've gone to CL Guys and watched, or either Pete Taylor.
Yeah, it might be. I'm not sure which one it's on because he has so many videos on both channels. It's kind of confusing, but it's the Advanced Flight Trim video. And it's an oldie. It's an old one, but it was really good. I didn't watch it all, but I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And even when you do the outside square, that first corner, he says he steps into it right before just to slow the plane down.
I don't know. Yeah. The stunt starts as soon as you point it down. So nothing you do flying across the top the first time counts. Even if you do this first, starts judging until then. I got to look at the rule book. I better figure that out.
Yeah, I got the rule book in reach, but it's right there. But
I got it. It's on the desktop.
His point was to slow the plane down so that you'd have time for that bottom corner.
Yeah.
And I've heard Keith Trossel, his strategy is actually to give it a really hard corner. That first corner, he hits it really hard, and that slows the plane down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Anytime you make a hard turn, whether it's down or not, it bleeds energy off the plane. So I always fly straight across the top. I have done this before, but I always fly straight across the top now and just go boom.
Yeah. And that is a deal breaker.
So many people, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me like it does some people. But then the down leg of the hourglass, that's one of the things that bothers me a little, and it's the only thing that I don't do really well in the hourglass. But I always fly really good hourglasses. But that down leg's a bitch. That last turn back out to level flight.
Joe Gilbert gave me a little hint on that one. He said to give it a little down. Give it a down input when you're doing that. When you're coming down for that last leg, give it a little bit down.
But then if you're not careful, you'll go too far out over on your back almost. And I have done that just out of fear when I was getting used to it. But I try not to. And when I was judging back in May at Huntersville, I saw so many people come out of that last and then go like that before they came across the bottom.
If I'm mistaken, maybe you give it up then. But either one, it makes it more vertical.
You're right. No, you had it right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the trick is to know all that, but to execute it while you're flying. Yeah.
Yeah, you can know all kind of stuff. Shit happens fast.
The trouble is, you get old enough and you forget it.
Yes. That's why we practice, so that we can make things not perfect but permanent.
Yeah. Minnesota Mike says Granderson used to bang corners. Who is Granderson?
Oh, Phil Granderson, yes, yes. Phil Granderson, yeah, he's a very, very. I've spoken to him on a couple of occasions, and yeah, he's quite a prolific builder. He has incredible finishes. Yeah, he even had a cover on. I'm not sure if it was Molly, maybe the Stunt News. He has a cover. And he got a 20-point appearance playing at Concourse Award at the Nats one year for his Diva or Diva.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a builder, quite a flyer too. You know, and he came from combat, so he's a very good combat.
Those guys have reflexes like cats.
Yeah, yeah. I remember once I was reading an article about Phil Granderson practicing combat at night. You know, and I always thought, you know, that's pretty cool, but I wouldn't want to be the guy launching the plane. You know what I mean?
Combat planes will eat you alive if you get in the wrong place.
I know. I'm like, you know what? I would be afraid to launch a plane because what if he can't see me and he hits my head? You know, what if I can't see the plane?
I remember the first time I ever launched a combat plane for somebody. Howard Shenton fired something up, and it was the loudest son of a bitch I ever heard in my life, and it pulled like that, and I had to lean back to hold it. And of course, I was out like this, and man, when he gave me the signal, I let go of that plane, and I've never been out of a circle so fast in my life. I got my butt out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
I figured it was coming around towards the back of my head before I knew it. So
exactly, yeah.
Hey guys, it's about time for me to pull the plug, so I'm going to sign off for tonight.
All right.
We'll see you Monday.
We enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, man.
Take care.
Take
All
care.
right, Ron, take care.
Yeah, Mike, it actually wasn't a Nelson, but it was probably just an OS 36 or 35 or something like that. I don't know, but whatever it was scary loud and pulling like a mother. Got my attention.
Yeah.
I was fearing for my life.
Yeah, they can be scary. Yeah, there's one guy, he has a twin combat plane I fly with. That's scarier.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
A twin combat plane, huh?
Yeah.
That must be something, a sight to behold.
Yeah, he didn't fly it in Escondido because we really want mufflers, but out in Pacific Beach, in Mission Bay, by Vacation Village, they don't care. So he mostly flies it out there.
None of the combat guys use mufflers around here.
Yeah, yeah. Typically they don't. But yeah, we want to keep our flying side. We haven't had any issues. So I mean, it's a public park. I've never told anybody you can't. I just asked them if they would, you know,
Yeah,
use mufflers so we can.
I would think that's a good practice. Yeah, a prudent practice, I guess we should say.
Yeah, yeah. Because some people don't want to be told they can't do anything, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't annoy anyone if you don't have to annoy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much been my style. Yeah. What you got there?
Yeah, let me make you big for a second.
Oh, everything's so backwards on these cameras.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's
on my workbench.
Oh,
what is that? All American?
All American. All right.
Yeah, we can read backwards. We can read mirror.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this funky. You know, these Brodak plant instructions. The pictures are horrible.
They sure are. It's hard to see what you're looking at and figure out what they're talking about sometimes. And it always turns out to be something so simple. It's like a head slapper.
Yeah.
I've gone for a month.
That's a new one. Now you haven't said that in a while. That's a new one. I gotta write that down. So it's one of your quips. That's a good one.
What did I say? It's so.
You said the head slapper.
It's like you're studying it, making a bigger deal out of it forever. And then once you put it down, you go, oh!
So simple, it ought to be a head slapper. I love it when I hit Charles with one that gets him.
Basically talking about putting an alignment bar down, and you pin it to the board, and then you pin a spar to the alignment to the.
Oh, my Cardinal's got something like that. I was reading the wing instructions, and I still haven't figured out what it's talking about.
Yeah, I think I figured it out. Is what they're doing is they're putting a 1/4-inch strip down where the spar goes.
Yeah, just for alignment.
And the real spar down to that and build off of that.
Oh, hey, Bob. Bob Bishop just jumped in over on YouTube. Yeah, the Cardinal tells me to do something like that for the wing too. But it was the nose ring that I was housebound this winter, and all I had to do was read my Cardinal kit book, and it took me forever to figure out what they were talking about with the nose ring and the optional block behind it that you round off. And it was finally when I was out in the shop. Oh, okay, that is so simple.
Yeah, when I was putting together my Vector, I didn't understand what he was talking about with the push rod, because what he's describing and what I found in the kit, it was like a disconnect, and I was like scratching my head for the longest time, and I just eventually said, well, I'm just going to do it this way, because I didn't know what he was trying to communicate. And sometimes when they have their production, they have the first run and they fix things, and then the second run there might be some things that are a little bit different, but the booklet was with the first run, I think. And then you're like, this is a disconnect, it's not making sense. I'm just assuming that's what happens.
That's like on the Brodax site, you go to some of their download stuff, and it's got the instructions for the electric P40.
Right.
And you open it up, but it's not the electric P40 at all.
Oh, no.
CP40. Oh, well.
Well, Frank Washburn just came in. Hey, Frank.
What's up?
Haven't seen you in a long time. Well, he didn't come in live. He's over on YouTube, but
yeah,
that's good. Thanks for coming in, Frank. And no sooner than he dropped in did Bob Bishop say bye. So bye, Bob.
Yeah. So you actually have the All-American on your bench, huh, Kevin?
Yeah, I got the plan sitting there.
Oh, well, that's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. I've been there. I gave up on my RC plane I was working on. I fixed it. I just put it on a box and put it away.
Hey, Kevin, you can go in your camera settings and reverse the picture, don't you?
No.
Yeah.
Where's that on screen?
Huh? Yeah. That's what you did on that's what I did on mine, because I was confusing myself. It was like looking in the mirror, and now everything's backwards to me that I'm seeing in my own screen, but y'all see it front ways, just like you're standing there looking at me in real life.
So where's that at?
What kind of camera have you got? Like a Logitech or something?
Yeah, it's a Logitech.
Yeah, just open your Logitech settings, and there's something that says
Logitech settings.
Yeah.
Okay, I look at the little settings thing on the.
It's probably over there in your taskbar on the right. If you've got the Logitech stuff, if you hit the little up arrow, it might be in there. Otherwise, go in your start menu and look for Logitech, and it'll be in those settings.
Preferences.
Yeah.
General. Show auto launch.
Don't click follow face. I did that on mine, and everywhere I moved, the camera panned over to follow me around, and that was weird. But yeah, you can reverse it so we don't see everything backwards.
Video, high quality.
It could be on. Sometimes they hide them in places where it doesn't make any sense to. You might have to just do it while you're not online if you don't see it right away.
I can't find it. No.
Yeah, Frank says that
Let me see if I can
doesn't
pop.
have anything interesting to share yet. Can't seem to get into the mood for building. LOL. And yeah, I can appreciate that. Actually, Frank, I have something to build, but life's been getting in my way, and so I haven't made any progress. I'm building I built up Pathfinder, and it's been in the same status for the last 3 weeks. So
Let's see, webcam controller. I don't see it in there. I'll plink around. Oh, more webcam options. Here we go. Follow my face, right sound, right light, advanced settings.
Oh, I know you got those.
Advanced settings, and we have mirrored. Okay. Image orientation, normal and mirrored. If you open, okay, let me go back through how I got here. First, on the main Logitech screen, I clicked webcam controller, and another little window popped up. And then at the bottom of that window, it says advanced settings, and I clicked that. And in the bottom right of there, it's got image orientation, normal or mirrored, and I've got normal clicked.
Yeah, I'm clicking on webcam controller, and it's just not doing nothing.
And then webcam, you don't see advanced settings in the very bottom of that box?
I'm not getting that other pop-up window for webcam controller at all.
Oh, maybe it's hidden under something. I don't know. But
yeah, I see the button for it. I click it, but nothing's opening or doing anything.
It might have opened underneath another window or something. I'd recommend screwing with it when we're not online and you don't have other stuff opened up. With nothing open the camera options and see if you can figure it out. But yeah, it's in there. I guarantee you.
Oh, it says webcamming. Oh, it won't let me do it while I'm connected here. Makes sense.
Yep. Kind of like texting while driving.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So, hey, Kevin, do you still get Stunt News or not?
Yeah. I'm a Pampa member.
Did you see the last page of the latest issue?
Is that the one with the blue P-47 on it?
Maybe, but there's a picture of me in the back of it.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. I downloaded it. I thumbed through it, but I didn't really read it yet.
Yeah, it's not the last page. It's the second to the last page.
Okay.
I'll screen share it here. I was kind of surprised. I found a picture of Steve, and I showed Steve the picture, and this is let me see here. I'll share this with Rusty and whoever else is on air here. Let me see here. Let me screen share. Application window. So
there we go.
There you go.
That's at the
I saw that.
That's at the Southwestern Regionals.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Jim Hoffman goes, "Can I get a picture of you?" And I go, "Oh yeah, sure." And he's asked me before, and I was always going, "Well, where's the picture?" I figured he'd post it, and so this is I'm in the magazine for a color picture. I've had a black and white picture before, but not a color picture. And then I think I showed you, Rusty, the picture of Steve Hines, which is he's right behind his daughter, you know. And anyways, I'm almost famous.
Rubbing elbows with the famous.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, it's if I remember correctly, I think it's a pretty good article. It's kind of a new format. So it's this new, thinner, lighter magazine as opposed to the ones in the past. It's kind of nice. I like it. they had to make it thinner to make it make sense, because the biggest expense for Pampa is actually the Stunt News, and it was actually it exceeded the cost of all the money they collected in membership. So they had to streamline the magazine to get it down to a price point where it made sense economically. So we have it's like a light magazine compared to what it was before.
Charles, your screen's gone all black.
Oh, you know what? Hang on.
I got sharing turned on.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. There we go. I'm back, out from the shadows.
Not black anymore.
I don't know. That new Stunt News is awful fancy compared to the ones I'm used to from the 90s.
Oh yeah, from the 90s. Weren't those basically like like a
like folded pieces of paper with a quick print job, black and white,
like a pamphlet.
Yeah, like pamphlets. Yeah, I remember. I wasn't a Pampa member then, but yeah. I wasn't a member then, but you know they were available on the Pampa website for the longest time to download. And I remember downloading all the Pampa magazines I could, and when I got back to the 90s, I was like, "Well, what is this? Like a truly a newsletter? You know, not so much a magazine."
They don't even have the older stuff online up there anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad that I snagged that stuff while it was there, because you're right. The new website, that stuff got lost in transition. It's not there no more.
Yeah.
But if you want, I mean, I could.
Trying to remember what year that was. That so I was second, and standing on a podium somewhere with my Thunderbolt or my P40. I don't know where I put it.
I remember seeing some good performances. I think in Arizona. I think it was either.
From when I went to VSC out there.
Yeah, I remember seeing you in those magazines at BSC. Did you ever go to the Southwestern regionals?
No, I went to Sepulveda.
Okay.
Yeah, but I never went to the regionals.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen your past performance pretty good.
Yeah. Now you know I am so pissed off when I fly 2 minutes and I'm lucky to do a wing over.
It's like when I go back in the gym and I'm trying to, squat, and I'm struggling squatting with what I used to warm up with.
Yeah. Squat. I wish I could squat. I always fall over and can't get back up. You know that.
Yes, I know. That's why
I gotta get to the doctor about this leg problem. I mean, it's really getting bad.
Oh man.
All the way from my knee down to my toes now, and it's spread to the other leg.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm on my feet, 9-10 hours a day, and it gets to about that 8th hour, and I can barely stand up anymore.
Yeah, well,
is it arthritis or something like that?
Poor blood circulation to my legs, water buildup. I gained 100 and some pounds within a year, and I can't shed it. But stupid cookies keep getting in the way.
Those things.
So my ex is forcing me to go to the doctor next week and forcing me to join her diet thing she's on. She's lost a lot of weight, so.
Oh, good. And at least it works.
Yeah.
And men lose weight easier a lot of times than women do. So that might.
My daughter's in on it too because she has the same problem. So I was fat when I was a little kid, and then I lost it all. Did good until about 3 or 4 years ago. And just not as active as I used to be.
Yeah, well, just just takes baby steps, and then just keep at it. It's the hardest thing for me is I just get so impatient because I'm used to making fast gains, and since I've gotten older, I've just had to realize that the gains come much slower, and it's at first it was just so I just could not. I mean, I remember I was running and ended up hurting myself. Go to the doctor. Doctor goes, what was you doing? Well, I was running. And well, how long you been running? And I said, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. And he goes, well, you just can't go from
0 to 60.
Yeah. Maybe you could when you was younger, but you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, I guess so. So that was just so frustrating because I just used to. I remember I used to make gains just so quickly. I mean, it was just. It seemed like literally I could get in shape in like a month. What was it? Because I was so focused that I could just go after it, and I could literally transform my body in a month. And when you get older, you just can't do that.
Yeah, it sucks. I can commiserate with y'all on that. But.
Yeah,
I thought I was having a stroke at work today.
What?
I thought I was having a stroke at work today.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
I had laying on the ground trying to cool off on the concrete.
Oh, it was exceptionally hot, so those heat strokes probably can sneak up on people when it goes to like 117 degrees. If you're not careful.
Charles, before I'll say it, because maybe other people listening hadn't heard it, but what we do when it's so hot and we're out control line flying, like out at Fort Jackson, Wayne showed me a trick, and it's to carry a bottle of the mint, that green mint scented drugstore alcohol, and have a little 6-pack cooler full of ice, and that ice will be melted by the time you start getting really hot. So there'd be a lot of water down in there. So just put a few glugs of that green alcohol in it and soak a rag. Just take a clean rag with you, like a kitchen dish towel, and wring that out over your head, down the back of your neck, and it'll make you go, whoa! But it will suck the heat out of your body so fast you won't know what hit you. And
wow, yeah.
Will stave off heat stroke. It cools your head and your core down. And that's the best way to get your core temperature down in a hurry, is to do that. And then just leave that thing around your neck until it warms up, throw it in the cooler, and do it again. And that will save your life sometimes.
I actually took you up on that. I actually have that green mint alcohol in my truck. So I actually heard you and finally got it. And then the Harbor Freight sells this cool towel as you put it on your neck, and I have that in my car.
You could soak that in it.
Yeah, I just need to get that my cooler maybe, and put ice in it, and I need to do that, and then I'll be set.
Yeah, I mean, we've always got a cooler with water bottles and Cokes and stuff, and if you have to, just put it in there, or you could soak it in the water if you don't want alcohol in your cooler, and just glug some alcohol on the towel. But that alcohol evaporates fast, and so it's got an extreme cooling effect. It refrigerates.
Alcohol. What is that? Everclear?
No, this is isopropyl.
Okay.
If you got a bottle of Everclear, go for it. But don't drink it.
I don't know what Everclear is. What are you guys talking about?
You're not a drinker.
That's pure ethyl alcohol. That's moonshine, baby.
I see. I don't know what you're talking about. People would drink that stuff, huh?
Us hillbillies know about Everclear. But you can buy it in a
What is alcoholic content on that? I know it's really, really high.
It's about 190 proof, I think.
Yeah.
Almost 100% alcohol. But it's ethyl. Don't ever do that with methyl alcohol. You fucking go blind.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
No.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll get some work done on my plane and have some progress next week. That's what my goal is for this weekend, which has been my goal for the last 3 weekends. But hopefully this weekend I actually do it.
I keep setting that goal, but it never seems to happen because I just don't have the go to do it. I mean, to get up and go, it ain't coming.
Yeah, Matt.
I guess I just need to do it. You know, just shut up and go do it.
That's what I got to do sometimes. Just stop everything and just go do it.
Yeah.
That's what I finally did to get my P40 going for Wednesday. I got the new motor on it, new puller prop, and packed it all in at 94, and got a new set of 62-foot lines on it. Got it all set up on Sunday to get going for Wednesday. Lo and behold, come Wednesday, I could walk.
Oh man, that's so frustrating. To be ready and you can't go. Oh, that's so
ready.
Yeah, I was up early Wednesday morning trying to get my plane and stuff all ready, and I ended up short-circuiting myself by switching off the muffler pressure line and had other problems. So even though I tried to get ready, I wasn't ready. But yeah, but you was ready. If you got ready on Sunday for Wednesday, that's the way to do it instead of waiting till the last minute like I did.
Had my batteries all charged up Tuesday night. I got up. There's just no way I could get out.
Oh man. Well, you know what? Just try again. So when do you think you can come flying again?
I ain't making no promises, because when I make plans, I usually get screwed out of them. So
the next holiday is September 3rd, right?
Yeah, I got 4 days off for that.
Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend. Yeah, I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I'm planning on that. But no. The Night's Fun flies in August.
All right.
I plan on going to that in August. This month in July, there's probably no time unless we do a Saturday. Yeah, I can't. No, not until August.
Are you sure the fun flies in August?
Yep. Same time as when they were going to hold the competition.
Okay.
What did they call it? The Dale Kern or the?
Yeah, the Dale Kern. Yeah, that's what it's. That's what it should have been. But they canceled it because they couldn't get a CD.
Yeah, I couldn't get any volunteers for anything really, from what I hear.
Which one was that canceled because they couldn't get a CD?
The Sir Dale Kern Joust.
Joust
in Los Angeles, and yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, that's
yeah, August 25th.
Dale just died recently, didn't he?
You know what? I never met him. Matter of fact, when I was watching the VSC video that Sparky posted, was the first time I actually saw Dale Kern. He was actually in that video, that VSC video that Sparky posted.
Yeah.
I don't know when
I didn't watch it,
but yeah, I've been to that contest. I don't know, maybe 4 times. As far as competing in it, I think at least 4 times. So that's kind of a shame.
Well, I got a bunch of his needle valves, the fine thread needle valves we use when we run pressure bladders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, for the TDs, he made one. They're discernible by their shape. They're square instead of with a rounded back like the Cox original equipment was. The Kern Craft needles are a square block with the spray bar through it. Then the Venturi fits through that because it's got that 3-hole sprinkler type Venturi on the TD.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, and that same video, which was a first for me, actually, Dale Kern was showing his monoline stunt ship, and he was talking about the merits of it, and I had never even seen the bell crank on a mono line stunt ship before. But he actually showed his plane and his control system, and he talked about it. He kind of raved about it, actually. Have you ever seen a monoline plane, Kevin or Rusty?
No, I've seen a monoline handle, and I've seen the one with the, what is it? It's the worm gear and the slider that you turn like that, but never seen one in real life.
Never seen one on a stunner. I've seen them
There's
on.
no way. Oh no, it'd be a speed plane or something. I think is what they used them for. But yeah, you couldn't fly a stunt with a monoline.
Well, that's what he was doing.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped out on you there for a second. I guess.
Yeah, that's what he's. If you watch the VSC, I'm not sure if it's the second one, but yeah, he's actually talking about it, and he's raving about it. And I forgot the actual advances he thought it had over the two-line system, but yeah, I think that's what he flew.
That's pretty incredible. I can imagine there would be some advantages to it, except for the tendency of the wire to spring back and forth. I don't know. I guess you got the same type of thing with twin line. Yeah,
if I remember correctly, he was talking about how there's less deflection between the flap and the elevator.
Yeah.
With a mono line system.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, since they fly with speed and you don't want a lot of up and down, I guess by design it's got a pretty fine thread and doesn't move as much for a given amount of distance. You slide it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about monoline. I don't know anything about monoline or the what's that? Those jet, those loud things. Dynajet, yeah.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Like the pulse jets. Is that what a Dynajet is?
Pulse jet, yeah. Actually, Bob Brooks, he gave me a Dynajet to donate to the Knights of the Round Circle Club next time I go up there. So I have one in the car. Maybe this one I see if I can show it to you. I don't know if it's missed any parts or if it's complete.
That video of the Pulse Jet Stunner?
Yeah, I've seen Dan Banjock, Brodak. Yeah, those are pretty
he brings them to Huntersville, but they won't let him fly them out there because it's a landfill underneath our field at Huntersville, and so that's what the county ordinance is, I guess. Park rules anyway say you can't fly anything like it's got an open flame or jets or anything like that, but
rockets or anything like that.
Get to look at them, and I've seen him fly them on video. The hell, we're out there smoking cigarettes and stuff, and I think we've had barbecue grills out there. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this live. Now the Parks Commission is going to come down here and get me, but anyway,
a big following. That's exactly going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think if they had that much methane gas coming off of there, they wouldn't allow anybody there anyway.
Yeah, I know. They've got these vents that look like PVC cacti, you know, the kind of cactuses y'all have out in California in the desert.
Right.
And I forget what you call that type of cactus.
Joshua tree?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like with the arms?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, cowboy cactus.
Yeah.
But yeah, those PVC vent systems they have out there remind me of those cacti.
Okay.
Cactuses.
So what's Bishop say? He says he piddled with jet speed back in the 60s. R.W. Bishop said he did that in the 60s.
I always wanted to get in a Navy carrier.
Really? Why?
I don't know. When I was a kid, that's something they were flying in Cleveland. It was pretty big at the time in the 70s. Just thought it was always kind of neat. The launch and recovery, but it's kind of dead out here. It was even dead out here in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. I guess at the Northwestern Regionals, I know they had that going on. I don't know if I saw that at the Southwestern Regionals, but I know they have it up there. Northwestern Regionals, they have everything up there. Yeah, I'm pretty much just stunt. But I do fly the combat planes a little bit, but mostly just stunt.
Yeah, well, if nothing else, it's good for a little comic relief. And if you ain't grinning after you land one of those things, then you ain't doing something right. So they're fun. And the same with a lot of the half-A's. Anything that's fast enough to keep you on your toes like that is fun to do.
Yeah, I'd built one of those RSM half-A Pintos before. That was a good little flyer.
Yeah, did it have foam wing?
No, it was built up.
How was it?
Yeah, I seen a Pheno fly at the Golden State. That was a small little plane, but I don't know if I've seen a Pinto.
I've heard of a Pinto, and I've also heard of a remote control Pinto, but I'm not sure what it looks like.
The half-A Pinto kind of looks like a little bitty Oriental.
Oh, really? Okay. I like the way the Oriental looks. That's a attractive looking lines on it. I like the tail end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I have a Oriental, and I mean I bought it mostly for the Brodak 40. It's funny how some planes appeal to others, and don't necessarily appeal to you.
Yeah.
The Oriental I've never found the Oriental very attractive. The other plane, I don't like is I don't like the Chiseler.
Oh, I don't either.
You know what? I found the Oriental more attractive in pictures than I did in real life after I finally got one. Mine was pretty good looking, but I like the way the tail end looks, but something about the front end wasn't quite as cool as I thought it would be.
What's that other one? Charles Mackey Lark?
Yeah.
Lark? I can't stand that plane.
And the I don't know who made the Bluebird. Was it not Bluebird? No, Snowbird with the pointy wings, the pointy wingtips. That Snowbird. I think that's a Charles Mackey design. I mean, the wingtips are really pointy.
Bob's got one that's got pointy wings, but it's called a Starlight. And I don't know if that's a kit. Bob builds everything scratch mostly. And so I don't know, maybe that was his design, but he rigged it up so that when you operate the controls that and if you look inside the cockpit, you can see the stick moving back and forth.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some planes where when you move the controls, the head on the pilot turns.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy, actually. I always thought those cockpit pilots were kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I had in my Oriental, while I was in the process, I almost call it building because that's what it felt like when I got through it. Putting it together, it was an ARF. I was walking around at Fort Jackson one day and found about a 2-inch tall fighter jet pilot, like a F-16 pilot or something, with the mask on and the hose coming off. It was all just molded, and I picked it up off the ground and threw it in my flight box, and it fit perfectly. I had to shorten it up so that the shoulders were, farther down, but
Right.
the torso was too long. But it fit perfectly in the Oriental cockpit, and I thought it looked great in there. His head was cocked partly to one side like that, and I thought that was the coolest looking cockpit fake pilot that I've ever seen that was not creepy.
Yeah, I've done that. I have a in my Strega I have a pilot. The not the newest movie, but Star Wars had a movie called The Force Awakening, and there was a new character in the franchise called Finn. I don't know if you're familiar with Star Wars, but the guy named Finn.
Only the early ones. I never followed Star Wars much.
So I found Finn, and I found him at Toys R Us, and I put him in my Strega. I don't know if I have an image of my Strega that I can screen share to show you Finn.
I think he was in one of the. He was in like one of the second or third movie, wasn't he? It sounds familiar. That's the only reason I asked, because Those are the only ones I've seen. Is maybe the first three.
Yeah. Yeah. All I know is it's the Force Awakening. You know, the order of those Star Wars movies is confusing. You know.
Sequels and prequels. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so confusing. When you see a new movie and then they go, "Oh, that's the third one," I'm like, "What? What about the other four I saw?" You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you do them in chronological order, they come differently than in real time order.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know what number they are. My son, he can tell me, but I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah. I read a novel, a pair of novels that was that way. He started writing a novel, and it was called Ender's Game. In fact, I just saw that movie recently. I'd never seen it before, but it was pretty good. But then after he was writing that, he realized before he finished it, he had to write a prequel to the book. So it was called Speaker for the Dead. And then he did that, published it, and then wrote Ender's Game and published it. And both of them were pretty good books.
okay,
I need to read. I hadn't read books in a long time. It's been a couple of years, but I got on the forums and started writing a lot. But now that I can't write anymore, I'm not type anymore. I'm not spending as much time on it, so I need to pick up some books. I love science fiction books, but that's why I didn't follow the Star Wars any farther than I did, because it's not science fiction to me. There's nothing about science in those movies. Just because it takes place in space doesn't make it science, and nothing they do is necessarily plausible. It's just all fantasy stuff. And
yeah, that makes sense.
you could say the same about Star Trek to a degree, but I ain't giving up on Star Trek. I ain't turning my back on Star Trek after all this time. So
Yeah, well, I like Captain Kirk. You know, I
yeah.
like.
I've been with it since 1967. So
Yeah, Captain Kirk was so cool because he's drinking alcohol and chasing skirts. I mean, you can't.
womanizing, yeah.
Yeah, not
Um,
just chasing skirts on Earth, but all over the universe.
yeah.
You watched the Orville yet?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's kind of a spoof off of Star Trek.
Oh yeah, I love that. I watched every.
It's funny attack. It's really
I'm
good.
hoping it comes back.
It is. It's coming back.
Funny as shit.
What's it called again?
The Orville, like Orville, right?
That's the name of the spaceship they're
The
on.
name of the ship is the Orville. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I don't take it as serious science fiction. But
No,
it's good entertainment.
Good comedy relief for us.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
I hope it comes back.
Hey, Robert or R.W. Bishop asks, anyone still fly the Midwest Magicians anymore? And I've seen some. I know Bob Brookins. He took a junior magician and he blew it up like 120%, I think. And it's a big magician. And I saw that at Brodax a couple years ago, and I actually have a picture of it. So I've seen some on the forum. Haven't you guys seen some magicians on the forum?
Yeah, lots of them.
Yeah, so RJ, they're still flying. As a matter of fact, the magician was, as far as I can remember, that was the best flying plane I ever flew as a kid. I mean, it was just so above any other plane I had flown. I actually built two of them, and that's the plane I learned to fly inverted with, and didn't learn the patterns. I didn't know I didn't know there was a pattern when I was a kid, but I did lazy eights and flew upside down and outside maneuvers and square loops. That was all with my magician. So,
what about time machines? We got a couple of time machines in our group around here. Anybody ever fly that?
I never have, but I think it's a good looking plane. I also like the I think the Hallmark is a beautiful plane too.
I don't think I know that one.
I don't know that one either.
I think that's also a Gene Schaefer design, because Gene Schaefer designed the time machine, right?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find Brookins' magician. A big bird. I forgot what motor he had on it, but it probably was like a 60 on there.
That's a pretty big bird.
Yeah, it's a big. I mean, I was so enamored with that Brodax. I got his phone number, and he sent me a copy of the plans. And it's a plane I'd like to build because, it's kind of like you have a midlife crisis and you want to go back to a certain time. That's kind of the plane I probably would build for my midlife crisis. Would be, but I think I'm past my midlife crisis. I'm 60, so I think it's too late. But let's see here, Brodax. Yeah, one day I gotta make a slideshow of Brodax. I took a lot of pictures from Brodax. Because I took pictures because I knew I wasn't coming back. So I took so many pictures at Brodax. Not even funny. But yeah, I could do a pretty good slideshow, I think, because I have a lot of pictures from Brodax.
I've got several CDs with several hundred, I don't know, maybe more than several hundred pictures of Brodax.
Wow.
Somebody gave them to me, but they're all good quality. I've never been all the way through them.
Wow. Yeah, let's see here.
Bob Bishop, let's see. Think back to when I said that's a pretty big bird after you said it was a 64 sized engine, and Bob Bishop chimed in and said, yeah, they were a big profile. And then a minute later, he says, I'm 64.
Okay.
I'm 62.
Okay, Charles, according to the night's last newsletter, they haven't decided whether it's going to be Saturday or Sunday in August.
Okay.
For a fun fly and swap meet and food.
And food. Yeah, don't forget that part. Food. Food, baby.
Hopefully they do it on a Saturday instead of a Sunday, because I can't do a Sunday going up there.
I don't like burning a Sunday, leaving and going and doing stuff. If it has to do with airplanes, then yeah, I'm probably more likely than just about anything else to go do it. But I just soon chill out on Sunday.
Bad part of where that's at, it's up there in the middle kind of LA area, and driving back to San Diego on a Sunday afternoon, it's just horrible. It takes a 2-hour trip into 5 to 6 hours sometimes.
Yeah, it's
getting to where you can't even go anywhere around here without planning for a traffic backup.
Yeah, it's I'm just scrolling through these pictures here. Yeah, but anyway, there was a big bird. It was a nice magician.
Anybody handling the old Midwest stuff?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I know you got the Brodax Warbirds, but those aren't.
I know Brodax rekitted the Jim Sahabi original magician, which was a little bit smaller than the Midwest magician.
Oh well.
What Midwest do you want to? What Midwest kit are you interested in?
None. I didn't like any of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's the same company that sells Midwest Balsa.
Yeah, Midwest Rocks.
That's who sells to lots of the craft stores too. I think.
Funny, Midwest Rocks.
I've gone through the sheet balsa and been able to pick out some pretty decent stuff, but I don't know really how to look at balsa. I've never been taught with hands-on experience at choosing and reading balsa. I just try to remember what I've read on the forums and interpret it as I'm pulling the sheets out. But I'll go in the craft store and pull every damn sheet out of the thing and go through them one at a time and stack possible keepers over here and put possible trash over here and sort through that. Then put the trash back and do the same with the keepers again until I come out with what I want.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do. I do the same thing. But, you know, there's a Harbor Freight sells a pocket scale that you can put in your shirt pocket. And that way you can actually weigh it. So you can really see. And then there's a, unfortunately it's on the internet, but there's a density calculator where you plug in the dimensions and then the weight, and it tells you what weight balsa wood you have.
I carried my kitchen scale into the hobby store one day and plunked it down and just stood up and down on the scale and read them. And I was surprised at the differences, and especially when I was choosing spar wood, there was a huge difference between same lengths of spar wood.
Yes, yeah, yeah, it definitely can be.
Oh, that's right. Midwest is still in business. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they must be, because they still got plenty of wood in the stores.
Yeah, they just discontinued their kits.
Damn, that thin plywood's expensive, though.
Oh, isn't it? Man, it
like
is.
4th and 32nd, yeah. Boy.
Yeah, 1/64th sheet. I mean, I've seen it for like, you know, $25 in Michael's, you know?
Yeah.
But Michael's has a 40% off coupon.
Oh, I need to look for that.
Then that's the way to do it.
Yeah. I was making 64th doublers and accidentally cut one backwards, and I was talking, man.
He was bad. I know you.
That's one of my rusty things. I can cut something backwards better than anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty common amongst builders to do that. You get those doublers confused. You get doublers confused and put your weight box in the wrong side.
That's better than mounting a bell crank and running the lead outs out the wrong wing.
Yeah. I guess you always could fly the opposite direction, though.
Good. Yeah, I could. I believe I could fly a pattern backwards in pretty short order.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I'd probably want to build a beater first, you know, and just get my routine down. But I think a couple of times through and that'd be good.
You know, I went through all my pictures. I guess maybe I was going too fast, but I couldn't find that magician. But it was a big magician. I don't remember what the wingspan was, but it was big. It was a big plane. It wasn't as big as Dan Banjock's Flight Streak, but it was a big plane.
Yeah. Now that Flight Streak's a big plane. He's back on his heels flying that thing with both hands.
Yeah. Well, there's even in the latest stunt news, I think they showed a plane from Rodax that was pretty big. Let's see here. It was I better find that. Where did I put that? Here. That's a big. What was it? I think it was a Ringmaster. That was huge.
Yeah, they had a Ringmaster and a Flight Streak.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find that picture here. I'll show Rusty. I don't think Rusty has seen this. Let's see here.
Right. Bob Bishop says way back when a good many flew backwards. A lot of speed and stunt guys.
Yeah, I think George Aldridge flew backwards.
I was just about to dream off about flying a pattern backwards, but I can't do it and talk to y'all at the same time. I'll have to fly myself to sleep tonight flying a backwards pattern. That'll be pretty fun. You ever fly yourself to sleep flying patterns?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I figured you did.
Oh, absolutely. Shoot.
Especially when I was a beginner. But no matter what happens, if I'm doing it sometime in the daytime, even if nobody's home, I'm 3/4 of the way through a gorgeous pattern and somebody will daydreaming through it, and somebody will ring the phone or something like that and they'll interrupt me before it's time to land. And I'm like, oh, damn it. It was going to be the best one ever.
Yes.
There's no wind in my head.
Yeah, I actually had a dream recently, and I was flying in a dream. That was pretty good. That was a good dream. I mean,
Yeah.
it's amazing how the definition of a good dream has changed over the years.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly what you're talking about, Charles. The things we are fascinated with as we go through the stages of life.
I know. Yeah, I can't find that picture of the of that huge. I think it was a ringmaster. I mean, that thing must have been 6-foot wingspan at least.
It's bigger than he is.
Yeah, I don't remember what that picture was, but I remember this huge ringmaster.
Yeah. I don't know what size engine's on that thing.
Yeah.
Might be one of the Fox twins or something. You've seen his Fox twin, right?
Yeah, I've seen that on, what was that motor? I mean, that plane, was it a Hellcat or not Hellcat?
I don't know. He brings it to Huntersville. I've seen him fly it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I think he's pretty good machinist, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I was about to say I don't know what he does, but he's an A&P airplane guy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains that.
Yeah.
Now, your friend, guy on the Cox Forum who's been here before.
Yeah, Bandit, Dave Fountain.
Yeah, and he's an A&P
guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin's an A&P mechanic. Also.
What's that?
Airframe and power plant.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, and that's really a tall achievement. If you're a licensed A&P guy, I mean, you definitely are like.
If you love aviation and make the cut or feel like you can make the cut as a pilot and you're really good at mechanics, I think that would be a great occupation. And it still has just every bit. I would consider it even, well, except for passenger planes, more responsibility than being a pilot. But I can't say that because pilots are responsible for their human cargo. But anything in aviation just carries huge responsibilities with it.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, better.
Oh, so what R.W. Bishop says, he did the A&P program, but never did anything with it.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Well,
I wish.
At least you learned it. I've learned a lot of things just out of curiosity. I went and studied computer science just out of curiosity and never did anything with that.
Yeah, he said you come out a good jack of all trades when you do that.
Yeah, sure do. Just like we, talking about Banjock, and you have to learn to be a machinist for an example of one of the trades that you have to learn. So, hydraulics, machinist, all kinds of stuff. Guys, it's getting kind of late.
All right.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all were a great audience. We had a slim one tonight, but thanks for supporting it with good conversation. All you YouTubers, we got 6 viewers still out there, so we appreciate y'all too. And if you'd be so kind as to hit the super chat button, we'd like that too. Help keep it on the air and free. And so I guess we'll be back Monday. So y'all try to do something fun over the weekend so you can come back and tell us about it on Monday night. And we'll be here at the same bat time and the same bat channel. So till then, fair winds, tight lines, and we'll see y'all later. All right. Thank you, guys. See you.
You're welcome. See ya. See you, Kevin. See you, Rusty.
Yeah. Good job.